Get ready for the dictation in 3, 2, 1, start. Right to legal representation, notwithstanding anything contained in any law. No party to a suit or proceedings before a family court shall be entitled as of right to be represented by a legal practitioner, provided that if the family court considers it necessary in the interest of justice, it may seek the assistance of a legal expert as amicus curiae. Stop. By virtue of the above provision, right of a litigant to be represented through a lawyer before the family court is not automatic but subject to the sanction to be obtained. Para. Non-issuance of notification giving effect to Section 30 of the Advocates Act 1961 was the subject matter of debate for many a decade. Stop. As a matter of fact, the Advocates Act 1961 received the assent of the President of India on 19th May 1961. Stop. Subsection 3 of Section 1 of the Act provides that it shall, in relation to the territories other than those referred to in subsection 4, come into force as such date as the central government may, by notification in the official gazette, appoint, and different dates may be appointed for different provisions of the Act. Stop. Chapter 1, 2, and 7 of the Act were brought into force on 16/8/1961, Chapter 2 and Section 52 on 1/12/1961, Section 51 on 15/12/1961, Section 51 and 52 on 24/1/1962, Section 46 on 29/3/1962, Section 32 and Chapter 6 except Sections 46, 51 and 251 and 52, which had already come into force on 4/1/1963, Chapter 5 on 1/9/1963, and Sections 29, 31, 33 and 34 of Chapter 4 of the Act on 1/6/1969, while no notification was issued in respect of Section 30, conferring the right to practice on every advocate before any court, tribunal, or such other authorities as specified therein. Stop. Para. Since the above provisions was not notified even after a quarter of century, interference of the court was sought for. Stop. The issue was brought up for consideration before the Apex Court in Iltutmish Reign versus Union of India AIR 1988 SC 1768, wherein it was observed by the court that in view of the law declared by the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court in A.K. Roy versus Union of India AIR 1982 SC 710, no writ of mandamus could be issued to the central government to bring a statute or a provision in a statute into force in exercise of powers conferred by the Parliament in that statute. Stop. However, after hearing the learned Attorney General and the learned Additional Solicitor General, it was observed that there was no hurdle in directing the central government to consider whether the time for bringing Section 30 of the Advocates Act 1961 into force had arrived or not. Stop. the writ petition was accordingly disposed of, directing the central government by a writ in the nature of mandamus to consider the said aspect within 6 months. Stop para. As observed by the apex court in paragraph 4 of the decision cited supra, when section 30 of the Advocates Act is brought into force, every advocate whose name is entered in the state roll will be entitled as of right to practice throughout the territories to which the act extends before the courts, tribunals, and other authorities or persons referred to therein. Stop. It is also observed in the very same paragraph that there are various enactments in force in the country which impose restrictions on the right of an advocate to appear before certain courts, tribunals, and authorities, like section 36(4) of the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, section 13 of the Family Courts Act 1984, as involved herein, etc. Stop para. It took more than another quarter of a century for the central government to have awakened from the slumber and to have felt the necessity to notify the provision. Stop. It is brought to the notice of this court that after much deliberations, things have now taken a positive turn when the Union government thought it fit to have section 30 of the Advocates Act notified. Stop. Thank you.